Hi, I'm Gary White here with
Yvonne McNary
on Channel 6 on Kentucky Television, and we're celebrating Valentine's Day month, the month of February.
the month for lovers.
That's right. With another segment looking back at some of the fun stuff that we've gotten to do for Valentine's Day over the years, right?
Yes, Gary, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
That's right. Because Valentine's Day is also the anniversary for Channel 6 Television doing local programming. And for Valentine's Day 2018, it'll be 18 years of local programming here on Channel 6 Television.
Yes, indeed, and it's been fun-filled 18 years.
Exactly. Lots of fun stuff.
Met a lot of people and done a lot of fun things.
Exactly. Especially during the month of for lovers, right?
Yes, we have.
And so in our first segment, we got a chance to go back to a cooking show program that we did out at Missy's Out of the Way Cafe with Catherine Salmagi doing the cooking.
Right.
Who used to be a resident of Lebanon, Marion County, is now back in her home country of Australia. So if you hear an accent, that's what it is.
Yes, it is. It's Australian. She's an Aussie.
And the first week, she made shrimp scampi.
Ooh, it was
right?
Yes, and it was delicious, Gary.
You remember, huh?
Yes, I remember. I remember everything she ever cooked.
With the parfait.
With the parfait.
So this week, we're going to go back to her cooking, and this time it is the Channel 6 Tuscan beef.
Ooh, that sounds wonderful. Tuscan beef. You know, everybody talks about Tuscany, you know, in Italy, and how famous it is for all the different dishes. Channel 6 has its own Tuscan dish.
That's right. So we're going to get a chance to experience that again. And for the dessert, do you remember what the dessert was?
I'm thinking it was strawberries?
Chocolate-covered strawberries.
Chocolate-covered strawberries. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Brings back old memories.
Fond memories.
Fond memories, yes.
So she shows you how to melt the chocolate and then actually roll the strawberries in it, because there's a technique to melting chocolate.
Right.
You know, for those who don't know, you'll learn how, because you can't just put it on the flame.
You can't. It'll burn.
Yeah.
It will burn and stick and get real smelly.
And hard to clean, I bet.
Ooh, just throw the pan away.
Is this from experience?
Yes, it is. Directly.
So, we're going to kick off this week's Valentine's Day extravaganza here on Channel 6 Central Kentucky Television, looking back at Catherine and Yvonne doing Tuscan beef. Enjoy.
Our menu for today is Channel 6 Tuscan beef.
Yes.
And if you'd like that recipe, stay tuned, get your pencil and paper, and we'll give it to you a little bit later. Catherine and I are still celebrating February, the month for lovers. And we're going to have a really good time with that.
Yes, we are.
Show us what we're doing right now.
Well, we're just sauteing some beef, but we might run through the ingredients first. I'll just take that off so it doesn't burn.
Okay.
Okay, we started out with some beef. Now, you can use not a lower quality beef for this, because it sautés in the juice for a while. So a round steak or a top side steak is fine. About 2 pounds of that. Then red bell peppers, sliced in 1/4-inch slices. Some black olives. Onion, sliced, and garlic. Good Mediterranean ingredients.
Yes, indeed.
Then for seasoning, salt, pepper, and basil. Dried basil, because I don't have any fresh. And what we're using today is pairing up the food with the wine, and the wine that we're going to use today is the Woodbridge Robert Mondavi Californian Zinfandel. And then we're going to accompany it with some corkscrew pasta. And for dessert, we're going to dip some strawberries in chocolate.
Ooh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. So for starters, you cube up your beef into 1/4-inch pieces. Slice up your red bell peppers into slices, and halve your olives. Slice your onion and chop some of the garlic. Now, so far we've put some into the pan, and we're sautéing them to a golden brown so that they get a bit of colour. I've got the beef, the onions and the peppers in there. And I'm going to saute them till it's nice and rich and brown, and then I'm going to add the crushed tomatoes.
Okay. That looks wonderful, and you know what? It smells great too.
Right.
You know, our viewers can see how great it looks, but really that odor, it's really, really nice.
It
the
is
smell
good,
is
isn't
great.
it?
Yes.
So we'll do that on a higher heat, and then I'm going to add some black pepper, if I can find some.
Right here?
No, that's not the black pepper. That's a different pepper.
Right.
Let me
Different
just
pepper.
find some black pepper.
Okay.
Okay.
And you know, most of these ingredients, or all of these ingredients, were purchased locally.
Yes,
So
all
this is
locally.
All locally. So this is a recipe that you could follow very easily. And again, we'll get this recipe out for you here a little bit later. In fact, let me step over here and get started with this while Catherine is stirring a little bit.
Yes.
We've got, let's see, ingredients. 16 ounces of beef, top or round steak, cut in 1/4-inch cubes. Pardon me. 1 onion diced, 1 clove of garlic crushed, 1 red bell pepper, cut into 1/4-inch strips, 3/4 cups of sliced black olives, 1 can of 14 to 16 ounce diced tomatoes, 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and salt to taste, 1/2 cup of dry red wine, which is optional, and olive oil. And Catherine, would you add this? You add a few more peppers.
Well, I'm just adding the rest of the ingredients now and let them saute. Then I'm going to add it's a 14 to 16 ounce can of crushed tomatoes.
Okay. Okay. I want everybody to know too that we did use olive oil this morning to cook with. You always use olive oil?
Always use olive oil in cooking. It's a lot better for your heart. And in any of this cooking, it's light enough not to flavour the cooking very much.
Okay,
but
very good.
always use olive oil.
Okay. Now I know we got to do pasta. Pasta's next.
Pasta's next. You have to bring the water to the boil. You have to add some salt.
Okay.
I'll find.
Then we're going to add in here. And the
me
salt.
just go
Okay. 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 We're going to add some salt.
Add some salt, and a secret to having your noodles or pasta not stick is to add a drop of oil to the water.
Okay.
And that
Just a drop.
just a drop, not too much. But we have to let the water come to a full rolling boil. Plenty of water before we add the pasta, and then you cook the pasta till, as the Italians say, al dente. Now, al dente is to the bite. So when you take one and test it, it just has to have a little body in the middle.
Okay.
If it's overcooked, the pasta doesn't taste as good.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll remember that.
Okay, so we're ready now for the tomatoes. If you could pass the tomatoes.
The tomatoes. Here we go.
And just in with the
add
tomatoes.
Okay. Got that in there.
Okay.
Very good.
And then the olives.
And the olives.
And then the basil.
And the basil.
I'm adding the olives, and you can see it gives it a really nice colour, and it'll add some flavour to the sauce as well.
Wow, that looks wonderful.
And you know, with any recipe, you can always add your little touches. If you like to add a few more vegetables, you can do that as well. You could add celery or some green vegetables. Now I like to put the basil just brings out the flavour of tomatoes wonderfully. And I won't put too much. I have been known to over basil my food.
It's been over basil. Okay.
Over basil.
Now with this, this is not a menu that takes a long time.
No.
So that if
you've got everything prepared, 10 minutes preparation time. Now the cooking time, depending on how tender you would like your beef, you now just leave it. You turn it down to a low heat.
Okay, low heat.
A low heat, and make sure it's not sticking. You leave it for 20-30 minutes, and just you can taste by the meat. If the meat pulls apart and
then you know it's
tender,
about ready.
It's ready.
Okay.
I like to. A lot of Italian cooking, the women get up early in the morning and start cooking and baking. I like to start something like this you know, not too late, and let it slow cook.
Okay.
You can also transfer this to an ovenware dish and just let it slowly cook in the oven.
Okay.
Probably on about
Okay.
250, 300
Okay.
in the oven.
Now
And-
we're talking about romantic dish month
Yes.
of November.
Yes.
November for February here for Valentine's Day, and this one has the red bell peppers in it, so it looks
it's red and
yeah,
rich and
yes,
and,
it looks very
and
romantic,
also
very
at
pretty.
this point you can also add a little bit of the red wine, so we'll add a little bit in ours.
Okay, we'll add a little bit.
The red wine tenderizes the meat, and it reduces in there, so it's not going to give any alcohol content to the cooking. It's just the alcohol will burn off.
Okay.
But see the beautiful rich red?
Yes.
It adds that beautiful rich red colour to it, and then helps tenderize the beef as well.
Fantastic. Okay.
And now I would leave that and let it just simmer until it's ready.